Hey everyone, Josh Galvin with Tizish.com. On this video, I'm going to explain to you the #1 reason why agents fail with their SEO when using WordPress. Alright, so what is that #1 reason? And the #1 reason is simply the following. When agents create blog articles and they do their categories and they do their tagging, what happens many times is the creation of massive duplicate content. And the duplicate content is what kills your search engine ranking efforts. Alright, so before I dive into how agents do this by accident, and then the most important thing, how to fix this problem, let me first explain what is duplicate content and why does it hurt your search engine efforts. And so basically here's what duplicate content is in a minute or less. Duplicate content is exactly what it sounds like. You have a web page A on your web, you have page A on your site, and you have page B. They're pretty much 95 to 99% of the same content. Alright, so that's what duplicate content is. Now why is that bad? Okay, let's say that Google comes to your site, which is going to be everybody, and you're trying to get ranking for page A. Let's say you have page A and you're trying to get ranking for page A. But then on your same website, there's page B, and page B is pretty much 95% of the same content. In the eyes of Google, they're going to dilute the credit or the ranking value to both versions of the page. This is going to end up hurting your efforts in the search engines because now you're just diluting your focus. You're climbing uphill, basically. So to prevent this, understand everything else I say in this video, alright? Because I think duplicate content is pretty clear, and why it doesn't work is pretty clear because it just dilutes your focus. Alright, so if you have 10 links to page A and then 10 links to page B and they're the same content, that's not as powerful as having 20 links to page A. Alright, so don't let duplicate content kill your site. Here's a common way here's the way WordPress works that creates duplicate content issues that agents have no idea is even happening when they blog. Alright? So here we go on here's a typical blog. Right? Here's your WordPress panel, right? And then you have your content here, you have your content here, and then you have your categories, right? And then you have your tags. The biggest mistake agents make is the following. They put an article, such as this one, into way too many categories, and they put them into way too many tags. Here's why this is bad. Alright, here's our original article, the same one I just showed you, and here we are with all the all the categories it belongs in. So as you see here, we have 4 categories, and then let's scroll down now to the tags, and you see here we have 4 tags that this article was tagged with when I put in the content here. Remember, this is the admin panel now. Here's the categories and tags that I chose, right? So why is this exactly bad? Well, let me show you how WordPress works. Every category you make and every tag you make creates its own separate page of duplicate content. So here's the tag page #1. You see this content here? It's duplicate tag #1. Let's go to #2 now. You see the content here? It's pretty much the exact same thing. Let's go to #3. Pretty much the exact same content. The only thing that's changing is this. Let's go to the 4th one. Same thing. Now let's go to our categories. See duplicate category 1. The only thing that changes is the name. Let's go to category 2, category 3, category 4. Notice how the content is the exact same. So from one blog article found here, the way we categorized it and the way we tagged it created 8 pages of duplicate content, because we see from what I just showed you, tag 1 here is duplicate, tag 2 is duplicate, 3 is duplicate, 4, etc. All the way through the categories. Alright, and not only that, here's the worst part about it. Not only do you create duplicate content issues by the way you categorize and tag, WordPress's core functionality creates duplicate content when it has your author page. Every WordPress site has author pages. This also creates duplicate content. And not only that, your date-based archives. I'm sure you've seen archives like the following. Let's say here, see these archives where you see the links and it shows you all the postings? Well, this creates duplicate content on your site because here we have the month, or the month and the year, and our duplicate blog posting. Here we have the year only, here's our duplicate blog posting. And here we have the day, exact same blog posting. So from one article, this is what's crazy. From one article found here, this one blog posting, we created about 12 pages of duplicate content. Now, obviously these 12 pages aren't duplicate content of the exact article here, so it's not going to hurt this article's effort, but it's going to basically hurt your overall site's effort because you're creating all these duplicate pages. And that means that when Google comes to this website here, or this web page, and they start crawling your categories and they start crawling your tags, what's going to happen is your link focus that you might get to this website, let's say you got 20 links to this page. Now it's being diluted over duplicate content, and this is what hurts your search engine optimization efforts. That's where the pain comes in. Not so much that the duplicate content exists necessarily, but more so in that when you want articles or your web page to rank and they had to link to duplicate pages, that's basically diluting your focus and hurting your efforts of growing faster in Google. So what do you do to prevent that? All right, how do you stop this? The first option is the following. Learn how to tag and categorize your postings better. All right, so this is the first option, and this is the non-coding way. All right, I'm going to explain this, and then I'm going to go over the coding way, the SEO code you could put into your site to do it automatically. So first of all, and this is a basic practice you should understand anyways. All right, so the first thing you could do is the following. What do you do? Let's now put our imagination hats on and pretend this is an article on when the first-time home buyer tax credit expired. Let's pretend how that affected sales. And let's not even pretend, that's real life. So let's pretend this was an article about that. Most agents would do the following. This is basically about first-time home buyer tax credit and mortgages, right? Most agents will do the following when they categorize. They're going to say, okay, this is economic news. This is latest news. Oh, this affects first-time home buyers. Oh, this affects investors. This is a market update also. Oh, and this is about mortgage for sure. Oh, and since I live in the neighborhood of Joshville, it affects Joshville. So basically and by the way, since I'm in the Orange County, it's about Orange County real estate market, and it's an Orange County market update. So basically, I took one article that is supposed to be about the first-time home buyer tax credit expiring, let's say, and how that affected sales months later. I took that article, and now I try to make it seem like it's relevant to all these categories. So I just now created so much duplicate content by stretching the topic of one category and trying to make it fit into all these. By stretching the topic of one subject and trying to make it fit into all these categories. When in reality, this is how you should do it. You should say, what's the most relevant category that a topic like the first-time homebuyer tax credit expiring and affecting home sales would be in? Well, simply, that's the following. That could be economic news and then mortgage. Mortgage would be the most practical one. So here's the key point. When you put a blog article in a category, make sure it's hyper specific, or else you're going to create duplicate content issues. Same thing when you're tagging. If I'm tagging and this is about the first-time homebuyer tax credit expiring and how it affected home sales, I'm not going to do tags like, let's pretend I'm in the city of Irvine. I'm not going to do tags like Irvine tax credit. I'm not going to do tags like, Irvine homes. Basically things that are irrelevant, and then what's another one? Irvine real estate. I wouldn't do things like that because these tags have no relevance to the article. So when you tag, you need to do the following. Make them hyper-specific. First-time home buyer tax credit. That is very specific. And then this is a market trend, right? That could be a tag. And then if I can't think of any more, then I don't do any more tags because I'm going to end up creating duplicate content issues like I had showed you in the beginning. All right? So that's the first way to solve this problem. In a nutshell, here's the simple response. And this is the first way, by the way. The first way is tag and categorize your blog articles specifically and be very selective. Don't over-categorize and do not over-tag. That's the first tip you should be doing regardless. All right? Now the second tip, all right? And now this second tip, if you're a Tizish client, this doesn't apply to you in terms of having to set it up. We already set it up for you when we built your site. For non-Tizish clients watching this, here's what you need to do. Go get this tool called the All-in-One SEO Pack, all right? That's the first thing. Get this installed on your WordPress site because what we need to do is the following. We need to do, here's the tool now in the admin panel. What we need to do is add what's called no index meta tags into your WordPress coding. All right. So here's what that means. What exactly is a no index meta tag? A no index meta tag is the following. It's basically a piece of code that goes into the heading of your website. So let's just say here, I'm going to show you the code, by the way. This could get confusing, but just follow along with me and don't overthink this. Just listen closely. So it's a code that goes in your heading that Google sees. It's right here. It's called the robots tag. It basically is going to tell Google to not save this page in their search engines. So here's the actual point. Let's say we have a duplicate tag, right? Or we have a duplicate content page, such as the archive. Let's say we have a duplicate content page here. We don't want Google saving this in their search engines, because if they save it, they're going to start counting it as duplicate content. So what we need to do is tell Google, do not save this page in your search engines. And the way you do that is with the no index meta tags that I was just referring to. Alright, so let's look at those real quick. Let's get rid of these tags now. Okay, so here's the all-in-one code. Alright, or here's the all-in-one SEO pack. What we want to do with this all-in-one tool is set what pages we want to tell Google to not index. And remember, to not index means to not save in their search engines, and by not saving it in their search engines, that prevents duplicate content. Alright, so here's what this tool does. On this tool, you have a section called here, use no index for categories, archives, and tags. What you should do is the following. First of all, and for sure do the following. Check off the use no index for archives. This is telling Google that this page, any archives, and that means any of your date pages, this is an archive, any of these are going to be no indexed, meaning Google's not going to save these, which means you won't have duplicate content issues from these, plain and simple. So now let's go to our next one, categories and tags. This is where it could be a little iffy, and you had to understand the following. Go back to the first tip I gave you, where I said learn to categorize and tag properly, because here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to choose one over the other to no index. So either choose your tag archives to no index, or choose your category archives to no index. And here's why. You don't necessarily want to no index all of them, because your category pages and your tag pages can help you in the search engines. I feel your tag pages can help you in the search engines, because you could tag articles and get long tail searches, get other searches for keywords people weren't using that were relevant to your article. But this assumes one major thing, and this is why I explained that first tip in the beginning, that this assumes you're tagging with hyper relevant tags and you're not overdoing it. Okay, so if the question is which one do you use no index for tag archives or not, then I would ask you the question: are your tags set up properly? Are they very relevant, or are they over posted? Are they over tagged? If they're over tagged, then use no index. And same thing with your categories. Do you have a few categories, or do you have loads of categories that loads of blog postings are already in multiple amounts of them? If so, use no index. In a nutshell, here's my favorite thing. I actually no index all of them, because I want all the link focused on my articles and on my home page and on my pages, meaning my search pages, my navigation pages, and my home page and my articles. That's the only thing I care about getting ranking for. So I only use tags to help with visitor usability. Same thing with categories. This is only exists for me, not as an SEO tool, but as a visitor coming to your website and wanting more articles related to this. So you choose what you want. I like to no index them all. Alright, and after doing that, all you do is hit update options and you're all set. So what's going to happen now is in your website, for these duplicate postings, there's going to be a code that looks like the following. And again, this is in the code, so I'm going to open up the code version. And you don't have to see this, just understand it's done if you followed along with what I said in this video. But you see this code here that says meta name, robots. See how it says content equals no index? This code is telling Google, do not index this duplicate page. So that's going to do all the stuff I talked about in this video. So basically that's everything. Go to facebook.com/Tizish, the way you see it spelled here, and like this video, comment on it, let me know any questions you have. I'm more than happy to look at your pages, alright? So that's everything. Share this with your friends and all that stuff as well. Alright? Well, good luck, and do everything I said in this video. Take care.